as tradition would dictate, we're out here on White Hart Island today for a Thanksgiving turkey hunt with the 12 gauge Blazer over and under shotgun, and that is the one kind of non-constant in these Thanksgiving hunts. A lot of times we switch up what shotgun we use, but we've got decoys with us. We're going to kind of move around from setup to setup, and hopefully we can find some decent birds. And this is the kind of basic setup we'll have for our hunt today. Now, this one was kind of rushed because that gobbler kind of sounded off pretty close to us, but we've just got a couple of decoys out in the open and a little vantage point up on the hill, and I'm being very careful to make sure that we're in areas that have us covered. The green on that camo indicator, which I'll get out again in a second, shows that we are all good, but that's a pretty big one. I think we're going to go ahead and hit him with the 12 gauge. Despite the fact that we were pretty well surrounded by gobblers, I didn't want to let that one get away. Now, I've got the Longbow as well, and that's going to be for kind of situations like these, maybe where the first gobbler to come in isn't that big. But in this case, definitely one worth taking out. That's got a nice beard on it. 9.3 kg as well. I'm surprised it's only 56. I'm not sure if it's the spurs that are low because the weight's good, and I thought the beard was good, but even still, maybe we'll set up a trophy shot. I don't often get to get the decoys in it, so I know this might look nice with the sun in the background. It's tough to kind of give the illusion that the character's like holding the fan open like that, because that is kind of the typical real-life trophy shot that you would take of a gobbler. There's just no pose to really work with that, so that's kind of the best that we could do. And I didn't get to kind of fully explain what was going on because that gobbler, pretty much like I said, sounded off real close and then was right on top of us. But the ghillie suit is somewhat because of the Longbow today. I just wanted a little bit of extra, I guess, ability to stay hidden. And of course with the camo view, like I said, the green indicates that we are hidden. And if we see gray, that means that we're going to be a little more kind of visible to the turkeys. But that's going to be the basic setup. We've got a locator call, just an owl hoot to try to get them to respond. And if they do that, we can set up and hopefully have decent success that way. So a slightly different approach to this one, and I think the gobbler may have actually just spotted us. But basically, the decoys are up the hill. Before he goes off, we can go ahead and take him, and I just realized we hadn't reloaded from the previous one, but that was kind of using the fact that the decoys are not only an attractant, but also a distraction, and that kind of works in two different ways. So the first way is that when a gobbler's coming into a call, I believe it's at 50 meters when they get within that range of the decoys basically kind of override the call, and the turkey's going to go into the decoys rather than the location of the call. So obviously he's walking up the hill, despite the fact that we were down there in the trees. The other side of it is, it does make them less likely to spook or less likely to spot you. I'm not sure exactly where that part of it is, but I mean, wait. We just fired a shotgun. What? I don't understand why that gobbler just sounded off down there. I mean, we'll try to bring him in too. I'm a little less than optimistic he's going to come in, but that's not supposed to happen. He is down there. I mean, I can just see him standing there kind of strutting. I'm not sure that he's going to come in because he's kind of just been standing there the entire time, but he's not a very big Tom. He's 30 to 45. I always like when there's kind of like a potential, realistic explanation. So sometimes turkeys will gobble back at like car door slamming or just loud noises. And I guess I could imagine, a scenario where one gobbles back at a far off gunshot, but he was only 150 meters away. I don't understand what that was about. But birdshot should be effective at 45 meters, rather than just crawl forever for a not that special bird. So, I think I'm going to put his fan down so I can see where his head's at. I always forget the impact of shooting into the ground with birdshot in this game. The amount of lag that causes is ridiculous, but I don't know, it was kind of an odd situation. It was also kind of cool. Like I said, there's, I guess, a realistic explanation, but as far as a game explanation is concerned, I have absolutely no idea why that gobbler just called. But a 31.9 score, headshot at 45 meters ain't bad. And I mean, we got a bonus bird for our troubles, but not a scenario I've ever seen in Classic before. Now that's a sound I've been waiting to hear for quite some time. We've been tracking this gobbler down, and finally he responded to our locator call, so he's kind of far out there. What we might do is go ahead and do a call or two just to see if we can get him coming this way. We have plenty of room to set up, and I mean, as much as I like to kind of switch it up and not set up on the roads, they tend to be the most reliable place to get like a good open shot. So again, what I want to pay attention to is making sure that we have camo, and I mean, I'd say this is going to be our spot. We'll set up decoys on the road and kind of just hang out by these trees. You know, this is why I don't tend to track turkeys in this game, because the weight, while it matters for their score, it rarely correlates into big turkeys, because for whatever reason, I swear there's something to do with a high weight turkey being a lower score, and that was a max weight estimate track that I think on the spot only went up to 9.3 kg there, you know, something not quite around that 10 mark. And I mean, he's not bad, he's a double beard, probably in the mid 40s, 8.9 kg and a 47 score, still our maybe second or third best today. But yeah, tracked that guy for quite some time, hoping to see a long beard and a high weight, and unfortunately, actually, neither one of those came through. Well, this is a pretty good kind of demonstration of why setting up away from the decoys can be a good thing. This was an instance where he just gobbled in a position where getting into the trees wasn't exactly reasonable. So we set up in the field, and actually there was another. Man, I doubt that we hit that, but I figured it was worth a shot before he got too far away. We can go and see what that looked like, but he snuck all the way in. I guess he was kind of right in here, but through the grass enough that we couldn't see him. And had we just been laying there calling rather than having the decoys to sort of distract him, he may have walked so close that we'd have not seen him in time. And I mean, as a 27 scoring gobbler, there's a good chance he would have walked to like 5 meters before he spooked. That's about as small as they get, unfortunately. But it's good to kind of show like the way that works. I was trying to explain it earlier, and unfortunately the gobbler had spotted us. And of course that time we couldn't spot the gobbler in time, but I am curious, like, he was far enough away that we would have had a fair spread with our bird shot there, and I actually have no idea. Like, if you just sort of barely hit a turkey with bird shot, like, what happens? I don't see any sign of blood. The weight isn't exactly special, so we may just kind of continue on, and maybe we'll see him down the road a bit. I can't imagine a more unnecessary situation here. We've got the ghillie suit on, we're in a ground blind, and we have probably the smallest estimate gobbler I've ever seen. And by the way, going back to the high weight thing, 9.2 to 10 kg, but a 15 to 30 score and a pretty pathetic beard. But I thought, we're here by the golden tree stand, we're in this blind, it's a good opportunity to use the longbow, and a good opportunity to shoot a bird that's inside of our decoy. But that is going to be a shot that's going to bring him down. Pretty interesting the way that all went down. And I swear if this is another like 9.8 or higher kg bird, it's not going to surprise me, but it would just be the way things go. And at 9.4 kg, he's not exactly huge weight-wise, but I think he would still be the heaviest bird we've seen, and a 28.6 score. It's just incredible how small some of these things are, but I was curious where we hit that. I'm not great at aiming the longbow yet. I mean, I've got like 500 kills with it, but it's only recently that I've gotten back to using it since we passed 1,000 kills with the heavy recurve, so maybe a little higher would have been good. We're close into the lungs, but, well, I don't know, for a small bird I guess that'll work. We've kind of ended up in a similar setup once again, and actually for the first time this hunt I think, we've got a hen coming in as well, but I don't really think that's something to worry about. And unfortunately, yet again, it's kind of unavoidable. We're going to have to shoot into the ground and deal with the kind of ensuing lag from that. But that is our 6th gobbler down. And oddly enough, our first one of the hunt was our biggest. I still would like to know why he scored as low as he did. I thought for sure he was a 60+ scoring bird, but the other side of it was that ended up not being my favorite kill. Honestly, that one has pretty decent spurs, but we know he's a double beard, so his max is around 50. And 40.4 for that one, I guess maybe a smaller beard or weight would have kept him in that area, but my favorite kill from this hunt was that random one that gobbled back right after we shot. Like I said, there was like a little bit of a realistic explanation, and I don't know, those random things that happen in Classic and Call of the Wild, where you could just imagine happening in real life, and I guess that's kind of where my brain went with that one, but always nice to get out here. I think this is a hunt that we should do more often, but I do like that it's kind of specifically saved for Thanksgiving. We always break out like a different shotgun, go for like a proper turkey hunt, not sitting in a tree stand with a bow and killing them that way. It's always fun, but anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you're having a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you next time.